Alright, so I'm going to do it again. And this time, while I'm uploading the lock video, I'm going to go ahead and do my thinking when it came to making my paladin. Again, I went to Wildhead, and I went to the class guides, and I went to Icy Veins, and I went to Subcreation, and I went to all these different places. But I think my thinking and my experience is a little more in line on my paladin with some of these gods. You know what I mean? So you can go and it's a little more in line, I think. So I start with the best covenant, and it's really a no-brainer here for me. For raids, it is truly Venthyr or Night Fae. It doesn't really matter. But you can tank, even in Heroic, with your same covenant as a Mythic Plus. But for Mythic Plus, all day it's Kyrian. There's like no doubt about it. I mean, there's just too much you're giving up not being a Kyrian. You can raid, as shown here, and it's not a whole heck of a lot different than the Mythic Plus build. As you can see, not a whole lot different. And the reason it is, and why it's so strong, boils down to the legendaries. You know, it boils down to the legendaries, but we'll get into that. If you go on here and you look at the talents, you know, I'm something kind of close to this. I disagree. That's the rating one. I disagree with always having to run Righteous Protector. Quite often I run Final Stand for the simple fact that it gives me a bubble taunt, and a lot of times in Mythic Plus things go sideways in pugs and everywhere else, even in organized groups, and you need to grab everything quick, and you need that stuff not to kill you, and that's perfect for that. As opposed to having more Venge and Wrath and Guardian of Ancient Kings, which is great for raid, but I mean, like, if you go to raid, I'm sure, yeah, it's great for raid, but it's not the best. Same with this. Unbreakable Spirit and Cavalier, pretty interchangeable, because your ability to cast or to reduce the cooldown of your Ardent Defender becomes a little less important with all your Shield of the Righteousness, but the Cavalier and having 2 charges and your mobility does. A lot of people swear by Blessed Hammer and only use Blessed Hammer. I use Holy Shield because of the block and your successful block, adding holy damage and all that, and that's kind of where my build goes. Now, if you go to Subcreation, you know, again, yeah, I don't always agree with the rankings and whatever, but me and Subcreation agree. You see a bunch of Holy Shield there. You see what I mean? And all those builds. And again, you can see there are things that are interchangeable. Some people take the Consecrated, some people take the Hand of Protector, some people take the Judgment of Light, you know. It's pretty much what you want. Some want the stun, and some want the AoE stun, you know. Pretty much all these dudes want the extra Ardent Defender. I personally prefer the other. I'm not, you know. But again, you have a large, you know, spread here, but look at the drop off between Kyrian and pretty much everything else on max keys. This is pretty much mandatory for a Kyrian build. Not for everything, but for a Kyrian build, that's mandatory. You need that. And that's based off the Bulwark of Righteous Fury and Divine Resonance, your Unity, which gives you more shields. Skipping down, you can see that, you know, the consistency of these builds is what it is, you know, but pretty much all of them in this are going to be Kyrian with Bulwark, because, and Holy Shield, you know, some of that stuff's subjective to me, you know. But here's where the real difference is. You see it says plus 29, plus 29, plus 29. And then you come up here, and the same simulations will have plus 30 for the exact same build. So, I mean, and max key of plus 30. Well, how are they getting an extra key there? It's because a lot of this is simulated and it's not real world. So, getting into real world, for me, and what I personally do, and it's not the best, it's not the through my highest keys is 17, and it's timed, and I've gotten my KSM, which is all I'm really trying to do season-wise is get my KSMs. For me, that's the difference, you know. So, let's talk a little bit about some of these things are pretty mandatory, some of them aren't. You know, some of them, like you can tank Mythic Plus back as a Venthyr. I've done it. It can be done. Is it optimal? Probably not. The amount of interrupts you get this way are insane. So, quick build. I'm Mechanicos with my Divine Tool, Conduit, my Lights Barding, my Shielding Words. I still have ret stuff in this thing. I need to take that out. That's where I was. But when I'm not jumping back and forth like this, I would have Punish the Guilty in one of those slots, which is Shield of the Righteousness, doing more damage because it synergizes with other things I have. I would have, would have Vengeful Shock in one. More than likely I'd have Vengeful Shock. But there are some fights I would take this, you know, the adaptive armor thing. This Shielding Words is great for ret, but as Prot, I would either take Royal Decree here, or I would take Divine Call, and that's because that reduces my Divine Shield by 5 seconds, which we'll get into that. And I would take Golden Path because that lets me stand in my consecration and it heals me. You know what I mean? So there are different options you can build on, you know. But my talents change because of what I do. I take this for my AoE interrupt always. I take Cavalier most of the time. This is really good though. Reducing your lay on hands and your Hardened Defender is really good, and your Divine Shield. It's really good. So these are interchangeable depending. If you're finding you're having more mobility problems than you are, like you're just not quick enough, then Cavalier overruns Unbreakable Spirit. But if that's not a problem and you're doing skips and you're using woe and all that, then this is always going to be better in my opinion. Consecrated Ground pretty much all the time for me. You can take this, you can take that. It really does not matter. It's a matter of your personal preference. I like kiting, that reduces stuff, so but I take the bubble, the final stand, and that's over reducing my Guardian of Ancient Kings and my Avenging Wrath, because I have found with my build that I have, you know, I have some absorption here from this. I'm encouraged to use my both my Avenger Shield and my Shield of the Righteous because they work off each other to give me, you know, more armor / block and damage at the same time, you know. And your 4-piece casting Shield of the Righteous increases your block chance by 4% for 15 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So that, and just using that offensively inherently makes it a defensive tool. And then when you take damage, you have a chance to equal 100% of your block chance to cast Judgment at the attacker. So my block chance with nothing on it is 46. When I hit this, it's going to go up as high as 12, whatever, 12% more. But either way, it's going to drop Judgments and give me more damage and more block, and then I have my shield and my reactive shield at that. So it all kind of just plays off each other really nice, you know. And then let's get into interrupts. So this interrupts your Avenger Shield, your Divine Toll interrupts. Both of these also, while they interrupt, give you charges to heal yourself or to use Shield of the Righteous again. So you pretty much never are out of options between defense and offense or purely defense. You know what I mean? I use these before pools that are big and when I know I'm about to get wrecked hard. I use one or the other. And then I still have my oh shit button here because I won't lose aggro if I use it. And I have another oh shit button here to take me all the way back to full health if I need. And I'm Curian, so I have this heal here and Dispel. And I can use that on me if I have a curse or whatever needs to come off, and then use this on someone else. Same with my Blessing of Protection. I have it macroed to my mouse, so I can use my will button, and boom, put it on whoever needs it to drop aggro or whatever. Same with Freedom. So interrupts wise, I have Avenger Shield, I have Divine Toll, and I have my Hard Stun Hammer and my Blinding Light. Then I can de-enrage with Arcane Torrent and somewhat CC certain mobs with Turn Evil. And if I had to have a pinch interrupt, which I've never had to have, but if I did, I could use this as a fear to interrupt and then just break the fear. But this is really important right here. The Unity. After casting Divine Toll, you instantly cast Avenger Shield every 5 seconds for 15 seconds. That's a crap ton of interrupting. And it's nice. So on pull, I usually pull with my shield. Sometimes I pull single, but mostly with my shield. Pop my wings. Get a good nuke in there with Hammer of Wrath. That's just there in case I have to clean myself, because I believe that healers should not have to clean Paladin tanks or any tank that has a clean button. They got enough cleaning to do. Divine Toll. And then, by then I am so full of holy power, it's unbelievable. And I can drop my judgment, hit my Shield of the Righteous, and I'll have holy power again in one judgment or one whatever really quick. Even if I have to hammer righteousness, it'll be one thing and I can hit it again. And I drop my consecration, and if I have Golden Path or whatever it is, I'll stand in it. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't. But generally speaking, that's how my prop build works. So I just wanted to go over that real quick for anyone that was curious what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or where to start. Or if that sounds like something that works for you, great. If it doesn't, I won't be offended or anything like that. I just wanted to share knowledge. I think a lot of times we don't share enough knowledge between each other, and because of that, people get cookie cutter-itis, and then they can't see any kind of other way. But yeah, thanks for your time. Talk to you later.